Tesla Model S trip. 1400 kilometers. Alexei Yeremchuk. Can Tesla do this? Artem Kagan. Grigory Kagan. We'll find out right now. Moscow, Smolensk, Minsk. Hello dear friends, it's 10:25 p.m. now. We are near Moscow now, and we are heading to Smolensk, 400 kilometers from here. We decided to travel by this wonderful car called Tesla P85 modification. What's interesting, we're 20 kilometers from Moscow. I guess we're in Lesnoy Gorodok, near a very famous fast food restaurant. We ate, drank coffee, and now we're ready to check how far we can go with Tesla battery. Smolensk is like 370 kilometers from here. We've got 90% charged Tesla. The dashboard shows battery charge about 430 kilometers. We'll try to reach the goal without incidents. Our team consists of 2 grown-up men, me and Artem's son, Grigory Kagan. He's 3 years old. The main passenger is already sleeping. Grigory showed his wish to travel with us. Our first destination is Smolensk. In Smolensk we need to charge the car and move on to Minsk. We did not prepare some special chargers. We just called the hotel and asked if they had the red 3-phase socket. They said yes, and so let's go. Charge consumption is excellent. The weather is excellent, the road is free. We drove about 40 kilometers. Our results are average. We have only enough range left. Passengers feel comfortable. Everything's fine. Moscow, Smolensk, Minsk. So, my friends, we continue driving. We moved approximately halfway to Smolensk. We passed Vyazma, which is 241 kilometers from Moscow. The dashboard shows that we've got only enough charge left, plus 20 kilometers of extra range. The navigator shows that we need to drive another 132 kilometers for about 2 hours. When we reach the goal, the battery will be 2% charged. While we're driving, the heating in the car is constantly on. I mean, the climate control is on. Because it's too cold without it. Now we decided to change. Artem is the driver now. Yeah, I've got some nap. Yeah, some nap. Grisha is still resting, covered with the overcoat. And so, let's move on. Feels so strange when another car overtakes us, because you understand that in the city Tesla moves in totally different way. We are moving according to schedule. We're trying not to break the schedule, so that we could reach destination without extra charging. Friends, we are approaching a turn to Smolensk. 600 meters left to the turn to Smolensk. And 14 kilometers left to our destination. What can I say about our charge? Let's see. We've got 18 kilometers left, and 14 kilometers left to the destination. I'm sure there's some extra range for safety, even if our charge is 0. So, we're moving on. Friends, it's pretty cold outside. Look at this mirror. It's covered with snow and ice. Look. It's not a May month at all. Artyom, how do you feel? Perfect. Were you sure we could do this? Yeah, we even discharged the car a little bit to make it only enough to reach here. Here's our hotel. I can see some kind of parking. My friends, we did it. We're here. If the charge was 100% instead of 90, the trip would be more comfortable, I guess. That's it. Now we need to charge the car to be able to get to Minsk tomorrow. My friends, we're trying to start charging in this nice place because the car is absolutely discharged. Look at the dashboard. I hope you could see this. We'll see how long it takes to charge it. Moscow, Smolensk, Minsk. Good morning, friends. We have charged the car. Yesterday we drove from Moscow to Smolensk and we spent a night in the nice hotel. I think we'll give you the link, because the hotel is charming and very interesting. We need like 8-9 hours to charge the car. Now the dashboard shows 469 kilometers of available range and we're heading Minsk. We charged the car with an ordinary red 380-volt socket. Of course, we haven't placed the socket here ourselves. It was always here. We only called the hotel and asked if they have the red socket, and they said yes. That's why we came here. So it all was pretty comfortable. Moving on. Grisha, how do you like the travel? Is it okay for you? So shy. The battery is fully charged. Here is the socket. It's absolutely ordinary. Look. So, my friends, we drove about 357 kilometers from Moscow to Smolensk. The range was only enough. Of course, Tesla has safety extra range, as we read it on internet. It's like 20-30 kilometers, but I can't say we were worried, but we were thinking what if the range was not enough. Closer to the city, we realized it was not a problem. Because you can find a red socket at almost every company, at almost every gas station and service station. And you can always charge the car there. Red socket is a 16-ampere socket. We needed it was charging 60 kilometers per hour. And we were receiving messages from the mobile app about how the process of charging is going. We spent the night at the hotel and now we're moving on. Now our goal is to get to Minsk. It's approximately the same distance, maybe a little less. Artyom, how far are we from Minsk? 320 kilometers or something. Yes, Tesla's Google Navigator shows us 330 kilometers and 5 hours. We'll see how it ends. I think the navigator calculated our average speed and I think it was like We were driving 80-85 kilometers per hour at the beginning. Then we dropped the speed to 70 kilometers per hour. Our average speed was 70 kilometers per hour. Sometimes the climate control was on. No, not sometimes, almost all the time. Sometimes it was off. Yeah, sometimes it was off. We have 3 fighters at the team. 2 pilots and 1 watching. The second pilot is Artyom. Show the third one. 1 second, the third one is our main. Grisha, say hello to everyone and wave your hand. Excellent. How do you feel? Okay? Yes. Excellent. Let's talk about some details. The temperature outside was about -2, -4 degrees Celsius. Not far from Smolensk, it was a little bit snowing. We're using 21-inch wheels and summer tires. I don't know in which case charge consumption is less, with 19-inch wheels or with 21-inch wheels and low-profile tires. I don't know. I can say about how comfortable it is that Tesla has all kinds of signs and icons. That Tesla warns you when you should charge the car. At the beginning, when our speed was higher, Tesla showed us that when we reach the destination, our battery will have -5% charge. We took this into consideration and tried to drive the car so that we could have 0 charge in the end, or maybe even +2% left. We finished the trip without problems. It was pretty comfortable. I was only surprised that with the 21-inch wheels and low-profile tires, everything was fine on our trip to Smolensk. Quite comfortable. I was surprised with that. Air suspension works really great. You know that Tesla has air suspension from Mercedes. And it works really good. Moving on. Moscow, Smolensk, Minsk. We were driving at night, so our headlights were constantly on. I wonder if the headlights took about 5% of the charge or not. Now our headlights are off because it's a daytime, so we'll see if we have some battery charge left after the same distance. My friends, we're moving the road from Smolensk to Minsk. The computer shows us that when we're in Minsk, we'll have more than 100 kilometers of range left. That's why we decided to increase our speed. Our standard speed was 70 kilometers per hour, and now it's 81 kilometers per hour. We are going smoothly, calmly, confidently. Artyom, please click on the screen so that we could see our battery charge. Look, we've got 365 kilometers of range left. Our cruise control is always on. Here we are in the Minsk city. Here is the famous sign. We've got 100 kilometers of range left. Look. We came from Smolensk and still have 100 kilometers of range left. For the last hour or even hour and a half, our speed was 80-90 kilometers per hour and our cruise control was always on. It's +4 degrees Celsius outside. You can see we were driving pretty smoothly. And now we can say for sure that you can travel from Smolensk to Minsk. Our heating was always on to keep 25.5 degrees Celsius inside. What are your feelings about the trip? Great! The second half of the trip was absolutely comfortable. The speed was higher. It's more comfortable for a driver to move in a daylight. Plus the car consumes less energy because you do not need lighting. What else? It's warmer at daytime, so the charge is not wasted for heating. That's why we've got some range left now, and we can even move halfway back with it. The experiment was a success. We're moving on and learning this car and its capabilities. Subscribe to our channel, ask questions, tell your wishes about the videos. We'll be glad. Moscow, Smolensk, Minsk. My friends, the speedometer shows us 23,655 kilometers. We started the trip from Smolensk city. The battery shows 474 kilometers of range, and it's 390 kilometers from here to Moscow. Will the range be enough? I remind you that our goal is to check how far you can go with one Tesla charge. Last time we could travel from Moscow to Smolensk and the range was only enough, but it was at night with sub-zero temperature outside and our headlights were on. Now we're gonna travel at daylight and mostly without headlights, at least half of the distance because it's the daytime. That's how it is. It's plus 7 degrees Celsius outside. Yes, plus 7. They don't give us the way. Smolensk is a nice city for sure. Ah, this girl is only learning how to drive. That's why it's hard for her yet to give another car the way. Now I understand. Smolensk is a smithy of young drivers for Moscow roads. Yes. Here is the Smolensk Kremlin wall. It's very nice. Yes, it was built at the time when cameras didn't exist. But the wall knew that it'll stay in history. My friends, we're on our way from Smolensk to Moscow. We're driven 120 kilometers already. We're moving according to schedule. Tesla consumes 5–7% more energy than the company initially warned. But it's okay. The speed is about 70–80 kilometers per hour, and we are usually using cruise control. It's raining, the weather is great, it's golden autumn. Yes, you can travel Russia by Tesla, and it's interesting. Moving on. Moscow, Smolensk, Minsk. My friends, we're entering Moscow. Only 2 kilometers left to the city. The charge is enough for 34 kilometers plus some safety extra charge. Our average speed was about 80 kilometers per hour. From 70 to 80 kilometers per hour. Maybe 75 kilometers per hour. Look at our battery charge consumption. We were moving pretty smoothly. When we're at the address we put into computer, the battery charge will be 1%. So we carried out the test that you can drive from Smolensk to Moscow, and you will still have some range left, about 30–40 kilometers. So it's possible to travel. My friends, for those who were worried about our third member of the expedition, I can say that you shouldn't worry. He's sleeping on the back seat. Everything is okay. The expedition was successful. We did it. Moscow, Smolensk, Minsk. Subscribe to the channel Moscow Tesla Club.